This video series is produced within the framework of the research project, The Character of the Pilgrim in Medieval Armenian Travelogues, supported by the Higher Education and Science Committee of the Republic of Armenia, under the Grant Program for Promoting Scientific Efficiency 2025. My name is Vardan, and I am part of this research project, which is being implemented by the Մանուկ Institute of Literature of the National Academy of Sciences of the Republic of Armenia. In this series, I will be reading and briefly commenting on selected passages from Vardan Devrikyan's book, Armenian Pilgrims in Rome. An old but ageless legend in the course of centuries. Armenian medieval sources have preserved a mysterious legend, which in different periods of time presented itself in different historical coloring. The legend that has become history, or the history that has become legend, states the following. In order to make a treaty of love and alliance, the king of Armenia, accompanied by the princes of different provinces of Armenia and an army comprised of 70,000 soldiers, made a long journey passing the Caucasus Mountains and headed to the west, crossed a part of Europe, and reached Rome, where he was greatly honored by the Roman emperor. They concluded a treaty of love and peace and commanded to convey it from generation to generation in both kingdoms. Afterwards, the two kings honored each other with valuable gifts, bid farewell, and the Armenian king began the preparations for returning home. At that time, the Roman emperor asked the Armenian king to leave 200 of his armed and burly soldiers in Rome in order to serve in the Roman army. The Armenian king honored his request. 200 Armenian soldiers stayed in Rome, became famous for their courage and braveries. Many centuries passed. First, the Armenian kingdom was collapsed due to the disunion and unmanly behavior of the kings and princes. Then the country was ruined. People began to flee from their homeland in dismay. And when Armenia seemed to perish soon, the people that still stayed at home did their utmost to find a way out for the salvation of their mother country. First of all, they went to Rome and reminded the king of the time about the treaty that their forefathers had made several centuries ago. Just at that time, a new and brave king appeared in Armenia. He descended from the same Armenian king who had gone to Rome and returned home. This new king fought bravely and began to liberate his homeland. Again, during the same period, remembering about the treaty made by his forefather, the king of Rome sent an army to Armenia, comprised of giant and valiant soldiers who rushed to Armenia, crossing mountains and canyons, seas and lands. However, this army that hastened to Armenia was driven not only by the intention to fulfill the king's order, but also to liberate the homeland of their forefathers, because they were the descendants of the 200 soldiers whom the Armenian king had left in Rome upon the request of the Roman king. Some centuries later, when the Treaty of Love and Alliance was put in practice, and the Roman king stretched his hand for helping Armenia, they hurried to liberate the motherland of their forefathers. Armenian and Roman joined forces liberated Armenia, and the royal throne was re-established in the one-time royal residence in the land of Ararat, and peace began to dominate. The country again became peopled, and its inhabitants only grieved for the fact that their ancestors could not see these days of safety and welfare. This concludes today's reading. Thank you for watching.